Hello and welcome to another one of those videos where I talk about DF updates from Toady and KitFox. This is a really big UI dump about activity zones that popped up into my inbox this morning. So it's going to be a long one, buckle up. Also, I have a follow-up from the last video, which will be at the very end, and some information about PAX panels. This is going to be a good one. So the first thing we have here is the beginning of the Zones UI. So I'm assuming this is what will pop up when you hit the I key to mess with zones or click on whatever little clicky button they will give us for zones. Then from there we get to select one of the various options for the different type of zones, temples, fishing areas, water gathering areas, go up to trees and pick fruits and foods areas, all of that goodness. But I'm here mostly to talk about what I think of the look of the UI and not the functionality of the UI itself. I think the UI seems perfectly functional from what I've seen. However, I would just like to simply talk about the design of it. For me personally, once again, I'm very glad with the font choices that they are going with. I think that they're very easy to read and simple. Generally, I have a hard time reading fonts that have like kind of a white color with a transparent background or white color with a really dark background. Everything's kind of nice and gray and neutral. And I think it's very easy to look at. I think that this is a pretty easy to understand UX for a new player stumbling into Dwarf Fortress. I don't think that this is going to be particularly difficult for people to really understand. You know, the concept of zoning an area is pretty well known in other games in the subgenre and games that are similar or inspired by Dwarf Fortress, so it's a pretty well-known concept. Now, down here, they've gone all the way down to begin building a temple when you can see all the different gods as well as the religions. And one thing I would like to highlight that I really like is the actual different colorations of the different options. We have yellows for proper religions and blues just for gods. And down in the bottom right, you can actually see different colors for the different worshippers as well as the different things that the god itself stands for. I think that this is really nice. I think that color coordinated text is one of the best features of Caves of Qud, and I'm really glad to see this kind of making it in to the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress. It is something that we have a little bit in current Dwarf Fortress, but it seems to stand out a lot more. I really like the kind of bold color options they have for this screen in particular, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. Another feature that they're showing us is the ability to repaint zones on the topic of colors. You can actually change zones to many different colors according to this option. And the neat thing about this is currently in traditional classic DF, we can only have one color. Luckily, zones do only appear and disappear when you deselect the zone tool itself, so they don't really clutter up this place, but it's going to be kind of nice to actually have that as an option to be able to change colors. Also, I would like to point out the tiny little icon in the corner of the zone actually showing what the zone itself is. Alongside of the little signs for the stockpiles, I think this is a really nice addition, makes things clearer. Something else I'd love to see would be the ability to toggle zones on and off without turning on the zone tool itself. I think it'd be really nice to be able to just click a button and have all of your zones appear, or hold down a hotkey, either or, and let go of it, and them to go away, just as a toggleable option. I think that would be a really nice thing to see. I know other games have had that in the past, and it's a really nice feature. And the last thing we have to see here is the final edition, which is a lovely little GIF for us to kind of take a look at. You get to see several different zones layering up, little mouse going around and clicking the buttons. I do feel like something that I really hope to see for the final version is I would love to see a little bit more responsiveness in these buttons, as you can kind of see the mouse coming in, clicking on the arrow, and kind of cycling through the different menus. I would like to see, like, you know, maybe a little bit of animation when the arrows get clicked in, if that's possible. I do really like the way they overlap. Everything is very clear. The actual cycling through of them seems like it might be a little bit clunky, and I'm a little bit worried about that. I hope that you can just kind of click on the different zones instead of having to actually cycle through that menu. I also really hope that all of the keyboard functionality is still there in this version. Once again, I think that's still up in the air in the long run, but I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. So leave a comment down below what you think of the zoning UI, and let me know what you think. I'd be very curious to hear your responses, and of course, go leave comments on the Bay 12 Game forums for Tarn to see. And if you haven't yet and you would like these in your inbox real quick, sign up to the KitFox newsletter. All of those links are in the description, of course. Now we have a follow-up from the previous video I did. Yesterday, Meph posted on Reddit with some pictures and some ideas of actually showing wear and tear on items, and here is the final picture that he posted. It's got a lot of positive feedback as well as a lot of negative feedback, and I tend to agree with one of the pieces of negative feedback, and it's pretty simple. A lot of these with the nicer quality, the masterwork quality ones, they describe them as fancier, and like you can see visibly on the image, they look prettier. My concern is this, and it's pretty simple, now that I've had a day to think about it. My concern is a masterwork quality item is the exact same item simply made better instead of prettier looking in design. So think about it this way. If you have 3 pairs of the same pair of jeans, 2 of them are made poorly and the stitches are falling out of the side, but one of them is masterwork quality and the stitches will never come undone. This is the difference between a masterwork quality pair of pants and a normal pair of pants, in my opinion. And this should be the same for the swords. So as long as they are depicting masterwork quality items encrusted with gems and looking fancier, it's not quite representative of what I imagine masterwork quality items to be. But aside from that, I think the idea is great and I hope it's implemented in some way, especially the contaminants. I really like the contaminants. Whew, goddamn, it's been a busy news day. But final thing that I would like to mention is PAX Online is happening, and on September 12th, we actually have a meet and greet panel with Tarn Adams, co-creator of DF, live. And if you would like to witness any other KitFox related panels, maybe tune in. The schedule's on the screen as you can see, and yeah, should be cool. PAX Online, I will link stuff in the description. But seriously, thank you very much for watching this video. And to anybody, if you're here for the first time, I stream full-time on Twitch. I also do this YouTube thing occasionally. It's kind of like a side hustle for me, though, mainly. My VODs go up on Twitch as well. Lots of Dwarf Fortress stuff. Been playing a little bit of Stalker and some other things. If you want to support my videos and these news updates directly, you can do that on my Patreon. Link can be found in the description. $1 a month goes a long way. Thank you very much for watching. And thanks, Victoria, for the heads up on these posts. Seriously. And yeah, that's me out. Hopefully I'll see you in my chat at some point. Thanks for watching.